Hey, it's Marley and welcome to my June TBR video. So it is that time again to do another TBR video where I will talk about all my reading plans for the month of June. This month I'm going to do colors, pick my TBR, a random color generator is going to help me pick my TBR. I did this, I think last year. It's one of the fun little games I like to do to help me pick my TBR. But before we get to that section of the video, I do want to talk about a few books I already have planned. I think there's like 5 books I actually already have planned, so I am still gonna do the random color generator for 3 more books, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get to read all of those because June actually is going to be a bit of a busy month for me. I am going on a trip. I also have a work retreat and I think work is going to be kind of crazy in June, but I'll do my best to get to all of these. To start, I always do a monthly reading blog with some sort of different theme. So this month I'll tell you the 3 books I'm going to be reading for that vlog. The theme of it is still a mystery, but feel free to guess down below if you'd like to. But I think it's kind of impossible to guess for this one. First of all, we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is a contemporary romance novel with a little bit of magical realism like Ashley has been doing in her romance books, which is really fun. I think it's about this woman who moves into this apartment or some sort of building. It has some sort of magical powers that slips her back in time 7 years, and so then she's interacting with this man who lived there 7 years ago, and that's the romance. But then I think she also knows this guy in present day as well, something like that. But it's a very popular romance book from last year that people were really loving. And I did recently read Ashley Poston's other adult romance book, Dead Romantics, and I did like it. So I think this one is pretty promising. Next, I want to read Monstrilio, and this is by Gerardo, Sámano, Córdova. This is a literary horror book that I think again was really popular, or quite popular last year. Oh yeah, I was nominated for Best Horror. And this one sounds creepy. It's about this woman and then her son died, and then she takes a part of his lung and saves it and nurtures it, and then the lung starts to become her son, but he's a monstrous version of him, a little Monstrilio, and that's the premise that I know. And then I assume he starts causing havoc as a little monster. I don't know. And then the third one for that video is going to be Book of Night by Holly Black. This was Holly Black's adult debut. It's a fantasy book. I have really enjoyed her books in the past. I've read multiple series from her and really enjoyed it. So even though this book did not get the best reviews, I'm still hoping that I will like it because I have a good history with Holly Black. All I really know about this book is that it has to do with shadows and shadow magic. And we're following a main character named Charlie, and she, I guess, gets wrapped up in this kind of magical world of shadows. I don't really know too much more than that. I think it's going to be a series. So yeah, those are the 3 books I want to read for that reading blog. Then of course, Riley Sager's new book is going to be coming out called Middle of the Night. He is one of my favorite authors of all time. So of course I'm going to try and read that one, and I want to do a specific reading blog for it. I've done that in the past for at least one of his other books where I did a complete reading blog for his new release. So I think I'm going to do that again. So this one is actually our first male lead from Riley Sager. It's about this guy Ethan, and when he was young he was out camping in the backyard with his friend, and then his friend disappeared in the night. He got kidnapped or taken or whatever. Now it's 30 years later, he's come back to this town and creepy things are happening. Signs of his friend are kind of showing up. It just seems like there's some weird suspicious activity going on. Maybe his friend is still around. And then there's this line about the mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle, woods where Billy claimed monsters roamed and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. So that sounds interesting. So I don't know if we're gonna have a little hint of a supernatural element again, which he sometimes does. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm obviously so excited. I give every one of his books 5 stars. The only other book I have planned is called The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So this is going to be my book club pick for my personal book club with my friends. I think someone just sent it into the group chat and was like, oh, this book sounds interesting, and we were like, okay, let's read it, because it does sound a little bit weird and a little genre bending. I'm not exactly sure what the vibe of this book's gonna be, but it's about this woman who comes home one day, and then her husband greets her at home, but she doesn't actually have a husband. So it's about her attic is creating an infinite supply of husbands. So husbands will just come down from her attic. And Lauren, the main character, confronts the question, if swapping lives is as easy as changing a light bulb, how do you know you've taken the right path? When do you stop trying to do better and start actually living? It says it's a fiction, romance, magical realism, fantasy, contemporary. There's a mystery tag here as well, so I don't really know what's going on with this. I guess it will just explore like maybe the idea of marriage and like what you're doing with your life. I don't know. It sounds a bit interesting. So those are the books that I have planned, and then that's already kind of a lot, 5 books, but I'm still gonna do the random color generator for, let's do like 2 or 3. We'll see how long the books end up being that I end up choosing, because as I said, it is gonna be a busy month for me, so I don't know how it's gonna go reading all these books. Okay, so I've pulled up the random color generator, so I am just going to generate a color. Okay, and I have pearl green, which I'll put on the screen here. I actually quite like this color. Green is one of my favorite colors. So we could look at my physical TBR first to see if there's anything. It's like a bluey green. This has some green, some pearl green on it, I would say. So that's an option. Yeah, I think this is gonna be our best option here, or the only option on my physical TBR. So this is the Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas, as you can see. I believe this is a middle grade like fantasy book about like a magical competition kind of thing. I think it's also going to be a series. Yeah, I mean, I love magical competitions. I've loved the one and only Aidan Thomas book that I've read, Cemetery Boys. So let's put this on the list of a potential book. Okay, let's do another generation. Broom yellow. Okay, never heard of the color broom yellow. I guess it's kind of like a mustardy yellow. Okay, I think I found an option from my physical TBR. We have the Iron Raven by Julie Kagawa. This, I would say, is like a broom yellow, like a dark yellow that kind of matches the color. This is a part of the Iron Fae series. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that series. I really liked it back in high school. And this is kind of like a continuation, specifically following the character Robin Goodfellow, who was a character in the original series. Yeah, welcome to book 1 of the new trilogy from Julie Kagawa's Iron Fae fantasy series. Infamous prankster Puck finally has a chance to tell his story and stand with allies new and old to save Fairy and the world. And I think there's at least one other book, which I don't own yet. Oh, I guess it's gonna be a trilogy, so I guess there's 2 more. Okay. Yeah, so I think this could be fun. I think, you know, we're gonna see a lot of cameos from characters from the original series. There was actually like a second series too that followed the main character's brother from the first series. I don't know. She just keeps adding books to this series, but I have really enjoyed them, so that's why I did buy this book a while ago. We have 2 fantasy books. Not that these necessarily seem like they're gonna be like heavy fantasy books, but I think we should only stick with 2 since I don't know how many books I'm really going to get to read this month. So let's just stick with the 2 picks from the color generator. We had the pearl green and broom yellow, which are kind of unique colors, but I managed to find 2 that were on my physical TBR. So that is going to be my TBR for the month. I think it's pretty diverse. We have some romance, fantasy, horror, potential like literary fiction. I guess we're just missing thriller. I keep not, oh no, thriller with the Riley Sager book. So yeah, pretty good variety for the month of June. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my TBR this month. Drop me a comment if you'd like, and be sure to subscribe if you've not already. Follow me on my other platforms like Goodreads and Storygraphs. They're linked in the description. And I will see you later on in the month where you can see my reviews of all these books. Okay, bye.